The next station is
Innovation. Innovation.
Innovation Station on a Tuesday afternoon, and we've mentioned it many times already. Yesterday here in the country was Dokdo Day, and because of that, we talk patriotic or patriotism marketing.
Yes, that is correct. I mean, I think we can call it Dokdo marketing now here in Korea. There are a couple of things that bring or stir patriotism in our hearts here in Korea. One being the World Cup, of course, like national games, but these specific historic days as well. Or even, Dokdo Day. There's a lot of, controversy on Dokdo, even still, right? There was a lot of controversy in the Olympics as well. So I guess it's one of those things that really stirs patriotism in our hearts in Korea, especially. And that's why some companies, I don't know if it's okay to do it, but they use this day to market some of their products. But the ones that I brought today that happened yesterday aren't controversial at all.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, one social media commerce site, what they did was they teamed up with the professor Seo Kyung-duk, who is known to promote Dokdo, like not only in Korea, but I think him and Kim Jong-un, who's a singer, they paid everything to put a billboard sign in Manhattan
in
about
Times
Dokdo.
Square.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
that's who was behind. Yeah, that happened. Has that happened more than once?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That story comes up sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
so when we're always talking about Dokdo, Professor Seo Kyung-duk is always in the news. He's like the ambassador of Dokdo.
Okay.
So he teamed up with this social commerce site, and what they did was they sold local products from around Dokdo area. So not specifically Dokdo, but also like Ulleungdo, like islands around them. So what they did was they had a live 방송, 라방,
Yeah.
where they sold some of the local products like produce and also like seafood stuff and stuff like that. And they sold that live on the internet.
That's fun.
And some of the proceeds went, or the, not the proceeds, some of the revenues, so
Yeah.
profits that came out of that will go into protecting the environmental, the ecosystem around Dokdo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of companies have been doing that on Dokdo Day.
Is that a yearly thing that people do that?
I think some companies, I think people want to do it even more because it's not only to boost up sales, but also it's for a good cause as well.
Yeah, I think being a good cause, kind of definitely triggers people. Trigger is not the right word, but it influences or kind of gives people that nudge to really invest in it. And because they've invested in it, they are more interested in the whole cause. It kind of brings
Exactly.
more attention to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just another reason for people to want to care about it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then another stationery company that's
Oh.
really famous, the Morning Blank Company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The flower.
Flower, yes. Well, that company, they have a Dokdo eraser.
Oh.
So every year they kind of revamp the design, the illustration that goes on the casing of the eraser, I guess.
Yeah.
Until last year, it was just a white eraser with a map sort of, so like a realistic picture of Dokdo. But they wanted to target the younger generation so that
Yeah.
they would purchase the eraser and also kind of get a sense of the historic, historic, I guess, facts about Dokdo. Like they
Oh.
wanted the younger generation to know more. So they changed the color of the eraser to 3 different colors, which were pastel colors. So kids would like it. And then the casing was more like a pretty illustration so that the kids would buy it more.
Can anybody, for these companies that are, and you mentioned, depending on your opinion, should companies be using Dokdo to kind of promote themselves or their products? Maybe divisive, but can any company simply put the Dokdo Island map on their product and use it, or do you need to get rights from somewhere? I wonder.
I think you can, right? I'm not 100% sure,
Me
but I
neither.
don't see why you wouldn't be able to. It's like putting Seoul, like a map of Seoul on one of your products.
Yeah, very true, right?
Yeah, so I think there's no reason why you can't.
Okay, outside of the stationery store, what else happened?
A beer company They
Oh.
came out with a 독도에일. So they sold the drinks, and then also some of the revenue,
Proceeds,
the profits will also go into. I think they donated that money to like an association
Oh, okay.
called the 대한민국 독도협회, so the
Oh.
Dokdo Association of Korea,
Mm.
so that it will be used to protect Dokdo again.
Was that just yesterday? Is this only the one day, the Dokdo Day, where all of this stuff happens?
Yeah, it usually is because it's not like Christmas. It's not like a huge like
Yeah, sure,
celebration
yeah.
like in the States.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
So-
like a massive commercial day.
No, it's not like Chuseok or 설날, right? So it's just one day. But I think, it's good that these events happen regardless of how much money the companies make. I think it's kind of a reminder for all of us too. Like you asked me from a scale of 0 to 10, like what's your patriotism level? But normally, unless it's like World Cup, I said like 0 or 1.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned that in the opening too. It's not that people aren't patriotic. It's just that it doesn't come to the forefront of your mind on a daily
Yeah.
basis. But when companies do something like this, then you're reminded, oh yeah, right. Okay, this is a good day. It's a good day to support the country. It's a good day to be patriotic.
Yeah, so this is like the Korean side, right? So we had Dokdo Day yesterday, and that's why we're talking about patriotism marketing. But this also happens around the world, you know? Like if you use your national flag as part of your design,
Right.
that is included in patriotic marketing. So a lot of American brands, if you think about it, you see a lot of eagles. You
Oh,
see
yes.
a lot of the national flag
Sure.
on their T-shirts.
Yes.
Like you want to wear it. And, it goes also the other way around. Like people who are anti certain country, they don't want to wear
Do you want
those
to
kind of
wear it
flags.
though? See, that's my question. Like, my family used to send me, and by the way, thank you if you're listening for sending me like lots of
Oh, souvenirs.
T-shirts and travel packs and
oh.
socks, I believe, at one point
Okay,
with the
okay.
Canadian flag on them.
Yeah.
And I never complained because I didn't want to complain. But at one point, I think I did say like, oh, I really appreciate it, but I can't wear I don't want to walk around Korea like covered in the Canadian flag, right?
Proud to be Canadian.
So that's hence my question.
Okay.
Do people actually want to wear it?
I think if it's well done, like if it's like really like well designed, I think I would totally wear it.
I think on the day of celebrations, I think it's more common for people to want to wear that type of stuff.
Actually, I think a lot of the designs that came from the Korean national team for the Tokyo Olympics was done really tastefully. And I think those products are selling out really quickly.
Because it's fashionable
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
That's a huge factor too.
And I mean, even the American flag, even though you're not American in Korea, like some people use that. They think it's pretty with the stars.
Sure.
The star,
Yeah.
the Star Spangled Banner.
Banner.
So, like, we use that as our designs, but not for patriotic reasons, but because they're pretty. But if you go to America, they could be used as patriotism marketing.
So what are some of the examples then?
Okay, so one jean company, the Lee,
Yes.
how would I say
Lee
it?
Blank Strauss.
Oh, thank you. Well put.
Just say blank in there somewhere. You're good.
Lee Blank Strauss. For voting season,
Yeah.
they had like a little like tag or like little thing that they put on their pockets called "Use Your Vote," and it was part of a campaign. So people who
Oh.
voted would put that
You
on
could
their
vote
jeans.
with your pants.
No, you can't. But if you wear the
That's
jeans,
a new
That's a
if
invention.
you wear the jeans,
I like that.
you can put that on your pocket. Yeah, and also like the famous F brand company for cars from America, right? That started mass producing.
Yeah.
They have that slogan built blank proud. Oopsie.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like also along the lines of patriotism that they make these slogans
Oh,
to
sure.
promote their brands.
Yeah, a lot of products are, and you can find that in any country, but since you're talking about America, yeah, a lot of companies will use that, made in America, support American products type of theme in their promotions or
Exactly.
marketing campaigns.
Even the big blank company
Yeah.
for animations and whatnot, right? The Walt blank company. They put a lot of the American flag and whatnot on their merchandise for people to like buy at their parks and whatnot. So that's part of that too.
Sure it is. Yeah. I mean, flag flying in any country
Yeah.
is a huge way to drum up patriotism.
So there's a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of the maple leaf on Canadian products, like
Yeah.
not just T-shirts, but on maple syrup.
Oh, no question about it. Yeah. If you go to Mco right now and you go to the maple syrup section,
Oh yeah,
there's no maple syrup section. Whatever section the maple syrup is in.
the syrup
Maple
section.
syrup.
In Canada, we have the maple syrup.
You do?
No, we don't. Of course we don't.
I would totally believe that.
Yeah, like
Although-
the honey section,
although
the maple syrup section.
I believe, though, that Quebec in Canada is the largest producer of maple syrup in the world.
Okay.
And I think Vermont is number 2. And in fact, Vermont might be number 1 and Quebec number 2. I forget which is 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of one bottle specifically. Now I'm thinking of 2 bottles specifically that I saw here in Korea, and they had the Canadian flag on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
The one that my mom brought me from Canada, the bottle actually was the leaf.
Maple leaf.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the
Yeah,
actual shape.
I still have it because it's so pretty.
You haven't eaten it yet?
No, I
Just the
finished it, but I
bottle.
keep the bottle.
Yeah. I wonder if that's more true for products that are shipped and sold overseas
Oh yeah.
than for products that are sold in the country. I'm wondering for Korean ramyuns or whatever, when they're sent overseas for overseas sale, maybe if you can find the Korean flag on some of those products, it would kind of make sense, I think.
Yeah, I think some of them could have them.
But I think the Hangul in itself is like the marker.
Maybe.
Because, they would, even though some is written in English or whatever language that it's being exported to, the Hangul is probably the predominant letters that are there.
That's true, but then you'd have the problem of people like recognizing that it is Hangul, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but
Canadian products, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
A
actually-
lot of maple leaves on
Yeah,
Canadian
I
products.
haven't seen hunger written on the English ramyuns.
oh really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Everything is written in English.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do it to make sure that there's no confusion, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. People might find it not offensive. That's not the word, but
Yeah, if you overdo it. Yeah, if you overdo it, I think there could be a lot of fingers pointed at you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if you I think that's why all of the whatever they sold, like all the profits or revenue, they're donating some part of it for good use of Dokdo,
And
right?
that's the smart thing because
Exactly.
then, okay, you're not making any money on that particular day, but you're also still drawing lots of attention to your brand on that day.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's almost considered free advertising, right? All right, thanks for that, Kaylin. Really interesting. Let's move on.